Alright. Hello. What up, what up? Am I live? Let me just check. Let me see real quick. I am. Cool. Excellent. Alright, so we're back. We're back, everyone. Yeah, I took last week off because I was feeling kind of sick. I was like sneezing and coughing. It wasn't really that great. Pretty much like all this week I've been coughing as well, so yeah, I'm still not 100%, so I may need to mute myself into going into a mild coughing fit, but I should be right. Hopefully good enough to read, because last week I was like, maybe I can play something where I don't have to really talk that much, but I'm like, nah, I'd rather just, rather just have it off completely and pick it up next week. But yeah, here we are. Yo, what up, Crowbar? A year early? Yeah. Yeah, I actually woke up like 2 hours ago. But I was like, yeah, I'll chill for a minute before going live, so yeah, but we're back. We're back. Yeah, I was just saying, I was sick last week, so yeah, couldn't stream. Oh, I could have, but I was like, nah, I'll just stay in bed all weekend. And Nick was supposed to come down this weekend to play some games with me, but I was like, yeah, considering I was sick like the past week, I was like, it's better to be safe than sorry to reschedule it for next weekend. So yes, it's going to come down next weekend. So for now it should be just the regular schedule. But anyway, speaking of, let's continue. Yeah, so last time we got our own office, our own working office. And we haven't done any court cases for, I think it's supposed to be 2 months in game. But this is apparently the very last case of the game, so hopefully you're back, you get better soon. I'm pretty much better, it's just that, I'm like 96% better. Like I still cough every now and then, but I'm pretty much like back to normal. But yeah, as I said to Nick, I was like, yeah, best, let's reschedule it for next weekend, because, I don't want him to come down, we have a good time, we play some games, and then he gets sick, so don't want that. Yeah. Yeah, so I may need to mute myself every now and then, but hopefully it won't be too often. Converse. The telegram. So, what was it about? The telegram that was delivered this morning, I mean. Oh, a telegram? I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, and I wonder, I'll have to do a comparison, because apparently, I'm not sure if I still have the sick voice, but one of my co-workers was saying that I sounded different, like when I was speaking, so I might have to go and take my previous stream and compare it accordingly. Because when I get sick, I get like more of a rougher voice, but yeah, we'll see. It might be gone completely, but who knows. Sorry, but you're not getting away with that. Well, I didn't think I would. Sound like you? Yeah, I'm probably fine now. Yeah, because I was coughing a lot, but it's pretty much been very minimal now, so. Bit of a cold, but not too different at the moment. Yeah, exactly. Actually, don't give it a moment's thought. It's nothing interesting. Boring, in fact. It was just a boring old telegram. That's 3 times now she's tried and failed to convince me that was nothing. I promise that I'll tell you about it at some point. Alright, understand. Sure. I suppose Sasaki-san has arrived back in Japan by now, wouldn't he? Yes, I should think so. Yo, what up, Kenny? What up? Welcome in. He's left immediately after that terrible ordeal. Which would mean he should have completed the voyage already. Or be a few days away. A fortnight ago, we had a long telegram for him. Do you remember? Complaining of seasickness? But by and large, it seems that the voyage has been going well. Is something wrong, Naharu-san? I was just wondering, what might have become of Sasaki-san if he stayed in London, that's all. You mean, as regards the Lord Van Zykes, the Reaper? Yes, I can't help but wondering if the seasickness would have been paled to insignificance in that case. Yeah, I wonder if we're going to get Lord Van Zykes as a defendant for the final case, or if it's going to be something completely different. Because that's in Ace Attorney fashion, where the defendant is somebody completely different for the very last case, but we'll see. What is it they say? That no one stands in the dock who can be saved from the Reaper, right? Like the way the nightmarish trial ended on that very day that we arrived in London. That's right, that guy got off the hook and immediately died the next day. Even 2 months on, the cause of that dreadful fire is still a mystery. Yes, but at least Sasaki-san is safely out of the country for now. Presumably that means that the curse of the Reaper can only take effect within the confines of the city of London, perhaps? Even if that's the case, there's a little comfort. I have terrible sense for the foreboding. The legend of the Reaper is to be believed would mean that he wields the sword of justice himself. Come to think of it, I wonder what he's been up to these past 2 months. Surely not wielding that sword against more antiquated defendants. No, I don't think so. That's right, he came out of retirement like just to go up against us, right? So maybe he might have been doing nothing, much like we are. Apparently, Lord Van Zykes hasn't appeared in court once since our last account. Oh yeah, exactly. Oh? Yes, since Sasaki-san's first trial, he's withdrawn from the judicial service again, it seems. Really? Just like before, when he wasn't seen in court for all of several years. So it's just been me who's been facing a recent spate of trials, then. Just my luck. I wonder if luck doesn't come into it. Sorry, what was that? Oh, nothing. Never mind. Okay. That's it, sure. Now what? Can I examine? I can examine everything in here, but why would I do that? Let's look around our apartment that we live in. Okay. Let's talk about the things that we exist with. I'd rather just see if I can move. Yeah, let's do that. Oh, that's right. Yeah, they said, I remember they said there was, breakfast ready or whatever, so yeah. Actually, I might take this jacket off real quick. Yeah, not that it's getting too warm. It's just that I find like when I need to focus, get a bit more warmer than usual. So I'm wearing a mild green shirt on it, so green screen's gonna freak you out, but that's fine. Yeah, and I can always put this back on if I really need to, so. Shomes are sweet. '15th of April, Shomes are sweet. Morning, Runa. Morning, Susie. Good morning, Iris. Good, what is this music? Is it supposed to be Sherlock Holmes playing this in the background somewhere? Good morning, Iris. Iris. What is it, Bruno? What is that terrible noise? It sounds like a cat being strangled. Ah, yes, you noticed that, did you? Oh, yeah, there we are. Hurley is in the best form this morning, it seems. There we are. Oh, thank God. Hello. Hello, Mr. Sholmes? Good morning. He's super depressed. Even like the noise is like slowed down and has like reverb on it to have like a more depressed tone. Good morning to die, perhaps. Has something happened, Mr. Sholmes? You look miserable, and the way you were playing the violin before. Huh. My analytical mind is dead. Music is dead. The world is dead. Damn this blanching existence. That's all it is, my dear fellow. Nothing of consequence. I'm afraid I don't understand. Well, Iris, isn't it time we ate? Some dry toast and insipid coffee for me, if it's not too much trouble. Cat noise. Cat on stream. Oh look, it's Wagahai. Alright. Weird name for a cat. Good morning, boy. That must be some sort of tiny door for cats to use. But how did it get here? Well then, everyone, time for breakfast. Oh, wonderful. Let me help you, Iris. It would indeed be a fine day to die. I knew something looked different. Something's missing from Mr. Sholmes' desk. Let's find out what it is. Yeah, didn't he have like a giant thing on his desk or something like that? Is that relation? Mr. Sholmes, I don't like to pry, but your desk looks rather empty today. Well done, Mr. Soto. Your observational skills do you credit. Oh no, Mr. Sholmes, they pale into insignificance when compared to yours. You'd struggle not to notice, wouldn't you? You mean Hurley's great analytical scope? That was at the Windy Banks now? Oh, that's at Windy Banks now. Sorry, it's at Windy Bank? It's at a Windy Bank? No, Windy Banks, the pawnbrokery. Pawn? What? You mean you pawn the enormous machine of yours? It has some considerable value, you see. Quite undeservingly. But it isn't a very important machine for your work. I do wish to be consulted if your situation had become so desperate. I would have gladly passed what little income I have to you. Dear madame, things are far, far from desperate. But the pawnbroker has your wonderful machine. How can you do anything but desperate? Making use of a pawnbroker is quite extraordinary here in London, I assure you. It is? Doesn't sound very ordinary at all. I would seem that neither of you have fully understood how pawnbrokering works. Oh, what's to understand exactly? What do you mean when you say we didn't fully understand how pawnbroking works? To the people of London, pawnbrokeries are akin to banks. Banks? On Mondays, merchants relinquish their finest jackets and trappings to their pawnbroker of choice. With the money they receive in return, they are able to trade happily through the week. And then on Saturdays, they go to recover your things using the money they've earned. Oh, I see. So it's like getting a little bit of money here, and then earning more money, and then getting the piece back that you need. I see. I had no idea. This has been a fascinating lesson for us. Would pawnbrokers like jack up the price? No, I'm not too sure how to work. Everyone does it, you see, especially people in London. And should they have the money to spare, they would purchase another fine jacket. Not to wear, obviously, but to pawn, should the need arise. Oh, how ingenious. So whenever we have something that was getting in the way, we leave it at Windy Banks, you see. pawnbrokery can be thought of extremely secure vaults. Who would have thought that even pawnbrokers here are different in Great Britain? You have to like cross your fingers that like nobody else buys it, right? Of course, you have to go watch. You have to go watch Hurley with it. Sometimes he pawns things he really shouldn't. Don't you, Hurley? What does it matter? The world is dead to me. Is dead to me now. How about that? You seem to be very unhappy with this morning, Mr. Sholmes. What's happened? It used to be the case, in that in my hands, this violin sung like the dawn chorus, its messalent tones would make the flowers bloom. It would? But now, the muses are amused with me. The goddess of music has thrown me over. Whatever do you mean, Mr. Sholmes? For hours I have bowed, for days even, though the night I have endeavored to no avail. That sound, my tone, is lost. That brilliant, clear, unwavering tone, gone forever. No recitals of unbridled emotion. Well, you haven't been practicing much lately, have you, Hurley? Don't worry, I'm sure I'll come back to you in time. Heed my words, Mr. Naruhodo. The goddess of the arts are fickle. One day they bestow genius on a man, the next they unmercifully withdraw it. Oh dear. Why is it happening to me? If they take the turn after the violin for me, what is left? For pity's sake, what is left? Deduction perhaps? Isn't that what you're known for? Okay, cool. Excellent. How about if I give you something? Alright. Now what? Guess we examine. Now can we talk to you? More. Okay, there we go. Wagahai. Mr. Natsumi's cat seems to have settled into his new home then. Oh yes, and I've become very attached to a little Waggy. It would appear that his previous owner is completely forgotten to him. Cats are unfeeling creatures. Their mews are as empty as their hearts of muses. If Mr. Natsumi had no intention of taking Waggy back to Japan, I wonder why he kept him in the first place. Oh, so it was Natsumi's cat, I see. Interesting. So that's why it has like a weird, strange name. I thought it was like a bit odd name for like a cat that'd be like, you know, in London. So that makes sense. I expect it would take it if you could. But pets are strictly forbidden on board steamships in an experience. Then how did he get over here in the first place? And for good reason. Terrible things can happen if the rules of passage are not obeyed. Well, I don't mind because Waggy's adorable. Yes, he really is. Oh yes, what about the door? I don't remember seeing that tiny thing on the main door before. Where did that come from? Oh, you noticed? You're observant, Runo. Look, I used this. It was my latest invention. A cat door gun. Good for one use. What is that? I call it the cat flapper-mat. Gosh, a machine for making doors just for cats? I guess I could also do it for dogs as well, but still. That's right, I can make a cat flap for our little furry friends and like Waggy in seconds. And I can do it for any door at all, no matter what it is made of. It's very powerful, you see. Wouldn't it be quicker just to make the cat flap rather than making a machine to make the cat flap? Well, yes, maybe. But now I can make cat flaps anywhere I like. Oh, I think it's wonderful. You can make one just for us in the door of our office upstairs, Iris. She really knows how to come up with unconventional inventions, this girl. Oh, what is that? Wag high? Oh god, go into the catnip. What was that? Oh no! Wagahai is tangled up in your violin. Really? I think he thinks it's a toy. No! What's he doing to it? Oh dear, Mr. Shames's precious violin. Why should I care? I thought he was going to become even more depressed, but never mind. I guess he's already as low as he can go. What? I shouldn't be surprised. The cat is a more accomplished musician than I now. Mr. Sholmes really is in poor spirits, isn't he? Well, anyway, I'll put it back to where it lives, shall I, Hurley? Out of the cat's reach, if possible. Maybe we should assess the damage. Because I grew up with, I think our family had 3 cats and 1 dog. So I'm pretty accustomed to cats, but like I'd like to have like a cat of my own one day again. But it's just like the thought of like, you know, trading like a new cat from like, you know, as a kitten again. It's like I don't know about that. It's like, oh, it's good company, but it's like, oh, it's gonna piss and shit everywhere. It's like, ugh. Yeah, not good, not good. What kind of cat would you get? What breed are you into? Yeah, I'm not too sure. Yeah, I don't think I've ever been able to choose, like, my own. Like, I think the cats that we end up getting were just like, you know, because our friends had like, you know, kittens, and we're like, here, have 2, here you go. So yeah, because the oldest cat that we had was my mother's cat, and then me and my brother both got a cat, and they were sisters, and they like hated each other, so which is ironic. So we had 2 cats, and one was grey and one was black, and they absolutely like hated each other. Yeah, but if I was to get my own cat, I want something like, you know, maybe that I don't have to deal with, like something like that has short hair that I don't have to deal with hair too much or fur too much. Yeah, not too sure. Is that all? Okay, that's all we can do talking wise. What else we got? Check out this fireplace. Oh, hang on, can we check out the cat flap? No, apparently that's on the other side of the door. Other side of the room, I should say. I've had the occasional stray cat, but haven't got a long experience with them. Well, I guess it's like it depends if you grew up with them or not. It's like I know there's like a lot of people that I know that are like dog people, but I'm like, I don't understand why you choose dogs over cats. But I guess that's also growing up with, you know, majority of like taking care of cats over dogs, so I don't know, it might be different if it's the other way around. Who knows? Come to think of it, I haven't seen Iris doing much writing recently. But there's people already set up in the typewriter. Look, if she's about to start. It's a giant typewriter. That reminds me, when I mentioned that Iris is in the process of writing a full-fledged novel, Mr. Natsume was most impressed. Ah yes, Mr. Natsume. That's what I'll be doing too, once I'm back in Japan, he said, though tightly clenched fists and teeth. You're a dog person for sure, but I like to get a cat. I'm sure I like to learn how to appreciate them. Yeah, it's like, It's like dogs are like way more reliant on people, where cats more or less like do their own thing. It's like, you know, you just let, you know, cats run around and do their own thing, and then they come to you when they want to. So it's like cats are very much more independent, versus dogs are like, attention please, I exist, please acknowledge me. It's a charming little white shelf and full of charming little bottles too. But like the contents of them aren't quite so charming, it seems. Science of the future, Mr. Naruhodo, you can't deny it. I'm saving my money so that I can buy some chemistry apparatus as well. Law, chemistry, takedown throws. What diverse skills do you boast, Miss Sasoro? As useful as they are, I'm not too sure that my throwing skills are worthy of inclusion on the list. Do I have to check everything in this room? Sure, let's do that. The court case is going to be about this room. Someone's going to fall over and get murdered by this typewriter. It's going to be real heavy. It's going to crush their head, like Breaking Bad. Iris's beautiful tea set is there on the table as usual. A cup of one of their special herbal blends always helps me to relax when I'm feeling the strain. Had a roommate who had a cat that was really nice. Never been around a domestic cat before. Super different compared to the strays I spent time with. If the stray wasn't in the mood, it would bite and scratch my hand. Right, yeah. I guess like if they're house trained, you know, they're more, you know, chill. But I guess if like, you know, they're out in the wild, definitely don't trust, you know, people more. Yeah, and the ironic thing about cats is wild cats actually don't meow, which is ironic. So it's like the one reason that cats meow is to interact with humans, like house cats. So I always found that kind of fascinating. It's like they don't meow to each other to interact with each other. It's only to people that they meow to, so which is kind of interesting. A cup of her special... Oh yeah, I read that. The English pastime of tea has many similarities with our own tea ceremony customs, don't you think? It's the idea of hospitality behind it. It's the sense of tea. Yeah, it's definitely strange. Because yeah, it's like obviously that's something you obviously like think of when it comes to cats, but yeah, it's a very interesting trait. This like communication between, you know, a pet and its owner, and nothing more. These are all mementos of Mr. Sholmes' past cases, I think. Maybe be involved in my case. I wonder if the beefsteak from La Carnival will be on display here. A mystery shoe, a curious hammer, some mystery dancing men, a bust of Napoleon. Ah, what an enticing collection. Looks like an untidy assortment of junk to me, rather than like what is on my own shelves. Well, you really ought to learn to keep your things in order, Mr. Naruhodo. There's no favoritism there at all. Okay, this is where Iris notes down her ideas, isn't it? Let's see, what does it say today? Ah, the Boscomi Valley Mystery. Ooh, how intriguing. Must be a little Iris's latest work. I'll title. Oh my, I wonder what fantastic tale awaits us. Sasoro-san looks like an angel, but I bet she's treating me of the most unsavory crime things you can imagine. That's it in this room. Alright, moving over to the other side. What else we got? Oh, do you have anything else to say? Or is that it? That's it. Okay. Okay, that's all that junk. Fire burns uncomfortably in the grate again today. It's very different feeling to Japanese hibachi somehow. Oh, look at that photographic print of the lady displayed on the mantelpiece. Could it be? Yes, it must be. It's the woman. Oh, how exciting. That's supposed to mean something to me? The woman? Yes, I know the one. Of course. It looks like this huge metal chest is being used as a table for tea and coffee. It seems very sturdy with an equally sturdy lock. Mr. Narahodi, you must go around opening things. I always have to keep an eye on you, don't I? You're very mischievous. Yeah, that reminds me of the room that I was living in when I was a teenager, back when I lived with my parents and family. Like, the desk that I had wasn't a desk at all. It was literally a door that was like propped up on like two wooden planks, or two what is it? Like two wooden archways with like a piece of rope in between. What was that called? Whatever. But still, like, that was my desk. It wasn't like a real desk at all, and it was good though because it was so big. Yeah, still. It wasn't until like I bought my own desk that I had like a real proper desk. How'd you come to that conclusion? Anything else in this room? Well, barely anything in here. There's all sorts of on the shelves, chemistry apparatuses, hooks, papers, and lots of things I've never seen before. It's all heaped up and up so high I can't help feeling that the whole lot is going to topple at any moment. Oh, it's such a charmingly untidy collection of how you say that word? Paraphernalia? Whatever. Isn't it? It just looks messy to me, like my desk. But you, Mr. Narahodi, must learn to tidy after yourself. No favoritism there, then. Again. Talking about your untidy habits. So this is the violin, is it? It's a Stradificus, one of the finest violins in the world, made by the renowned Italian luthier Antonio Stradivari. Oh, I see. It doesn't really look like anything special to me. I happened upon it, covered in dust, languishing in a pawn shop down a nondescript back alley. The broker had no idea of its value, so I was able to purchase it for a mere 55 shillings. How honorable of you. And so one day it's been my favorite companion in every great paraphernally inspired performance I've ever made. I ask you, is there a reason to live here in a world of devoted music? Tolerate this blanched existence? No. There is none. Mr. Sholmes? What, dear madame? What? My thoughts are preoccupied with fancies of release from this dull routine. Well, it's about the violin. It looks very different to normal, don't you think? Huh? Someone swapped the violin for another one. What do you mean, Miss Sutter? Oh, Susie's right. Yes, the tone of the wood is completely different. And that's not all. I'm sure there was no crack there before. Wait, it's not even the right size, is it? What's this? I'm terribly sorry to have to tell you this, Mr. Sholmes, but that instrument isn't a violin at all. Oh, then what? I believe it's an entirely different instrument called a viola. So he picked up the instrument that he was so familiar with for so long. He's like, yeah, it's normal. It's about different size, different wood texture, different everything. Nah, it's fine. What? 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 Oh, Mr. Sholmes, are you right? You're right. You're quite right. This isn't my faithful Stradificus. So what, pray, is this piece of strangled flotsam? Not your faithful performing partner, then. So that's why it sounded completely different. He couldn't play it properly, because it wasn't even the right instrument. Ah, I see what must have happened. Yo, what up, Dolius? What up, mean? Yeah, we're not too far into it, are we? I've been only going for half an hour, so yeah, it's still very early. You do, Iris? This is just a simple mix-up. Sounds like Iris might be able to tell us exactly what's happened here if we ask her. Okay, let's do that then. What do you mean by a mix-up, Iris? Well, you see, this viola, I mean, was at Windy Banks until last week. Oh, I see, because they pawned it off and then they went to get it back, but it's like, oops, I got the wrong one. At the pawnbrokers? Not Mr. Sholmes' beloved musical partner. There is a proverb here from the East, in which you are no doubt familiar, my dear fellows. Always let a beloved child travel. Yes, indeed. So you send your beloved violin to a pawnbroker's and hope that you experience personal growth? Oh, what a wonderful idea! Last week I pawned my great Andyscope in order to release my precious instrument. But it appeared that Mr. Winniebanks has mistakenly furnished me with a tawdry fiddle instead. But my ears cannot be deceived by the hollow timbre of this piece of timber. No, but your every sense was deceived by the fact that it had strings. Tja, a fine state of affairs this is. That's why I always say, Mr. Narhoder, never trust a pawnbroker. They will try to fiddle you every time. Aha. Whoever was writing this shit had a lot of fun. How many music puns could I make? But earlier, you told us that you could think of a pawnbroker who has an extremely secure vault. Not really. I mean, like, anybody can come and be like, that's cool, I want that. Come, Mr. No-Hoder, dilly-dally will get you nowhere. Sorry? Yeah, I think it's, there's a game I want to stream someday called, Disco Elysium. And you wake up with, like no memory of, like, what happened or whatnot. You, like, don't even, like, remember your name or, like, what you look like. But it turns out you're a cop, and you actually find your own guns at a pawnbroker, and you have to buy them back. So, crunching your toes with that vacant aspect, fastening your copy so obtusely. Are you not a little embarrassed by your own conduct, considering your urgency with what we are faced? We must visit Mr. Winniebank's broker at once, isn't that right, Mr. Sholmes? Precisely, Mr. Soto, without a moment's delay. But I haven't finished my bacon and eggs. My dear fellow, surely you do not still intend to crunch your bacon with increasingly vacant aspect, to fresh your egg as ever so more obtusely? Alright, say blah blah blah. Let's go then. Don't worry, we're gonna be happy to beat it up for you again later. Oh, thank you, Iris. As it happens, I'm rather curious to see what a British pawnbroker looks like. Yeah, heat up the eggs while they're in shells. I think there's like infinite videos online that people that try to put eggs in microwaves and they just fucking explode. Oh, 2 new locations. Why would I go here? Okay, well, let's check this out before we actually go into the pawnbrokers. Nothing to do. Excellent. I guess I can examine the pawnbrokers before I go in there. Why not? There's gonna be a murder inside, right? Look at the different things in the windows of the shop. Ah, that's Windy Banks, the pawnbrokery. Looks much smarter than the pawnbrokers in Japan, doesn't it? Yes, you're right. I find pawn shops at home rather unapproachable, personally. That reminds me of a tear-filling party with my favorite fountain pen. I felt so miserable. What doesn't kill us makes us stronger, Mr. Naruhodo. Can I check these other? Okay, so there's a store next door for rent. I'm sure that won't come into play later, right? Oh, is that the This is the place that what's it called? Mr. Sosoto was renting, right? It's already been 2 months since we started taking lodgings here above Mr. Sholmes' office. Oh, okay, no. Wait, like the pawn shop is like right next to where they're staying? What? That's crazy. No, just the building looks very familiar. Oh, okay, I see. Same kind of structure, I guess. I still can't quite believe it. I never expected things to turn out like this. Oh, I know. To actually be sharing accommodation with the world's greatest detective. If I ever find myself to be in a court of law now, I will have not one regret. I don't know what you're talking about, but I'd be happy to defend you, of course. Planning to go to jail anytime soon. It's like literally just one store. Huh, interesting. Yeah, I think there's like some sort of like, I'm not sure if it's like... Yeah, it's like some sort of like, well, even here, there's like some areas that obviously like there's residential areas and then there's like commercial areas. And like they usually can't overlap, but I don't know. Maybe it might be different in other countries, or maybe there might be the time period as well, so... Alright, let's go inside. #15 April, Winnie Banks Pawnbrokery. So this is a British pawnbrokery. Oh my, there are all sorts of tools and contraptions in here that I've never laid eyes on before. Ah, Sosoto-san, that spark of wonder in your eyes. You just can't wait to scour the shelves, can you? I get the impression you enjoy places like this. Oh yes, I don't know why, but seeing such a lot of things, I just understand. It's a real thrill for me. My dear fellows, let us not forget why we're here. Oh, Mr. Sholmes. We are calling on matters of business, not pleasure. Oh, where's the machine that you pawned? Like, wouldn't that take up like a lot of space? And clearly, Mr. Sholmes means business too, judging from the spark of fury in his eyes. Ah, Mr. Sholmes, sir, welcome back. Did you hear the blazing welcome? Well, yes, we have potential customers after all. We're disgruntled customers of Mr. Naruhodo, and it's time to inform Mr. Windybank of our ire. Come, the fight is afoot. Nice outfit. Maybe we'll lock you to all your shit first. How about that? April 15th. Take note of that. That's alright. I'll talk first. Naturally, you recall this, which I retrieved from you some days ago. Yes. The second-rate fiddle is not my faithful instrument, Mr. Windybank. The color of the wood is different, it holds in it, it's not even the same size. A wonderful summary of our observations, Mr. Sholmes. I'm so very sorry, sir. How utterly unforgivable of me, and an inexcusable mistake for a pawnbroker. There is only one way to make amends. Run away. Oh, never mind. Kill yourself, what the... I have to take my own life. The murder's gonna be right here, and it's gonna be solved in 1 second. He's gonna pin us for the murder. I don't think that would be necessary, do you? If I may just say one thing before I pop off. Yes? It was you, Mr. Sholmes, who took it upon himself to remove the item the other day, I believe. Sorry? As I recall, I entered the storeroom to fetch your violin, and when I heard, there it is. You did? And when I turned to convert you, you had taken the viola and left, sir. Also, he himself made the mistake, so it's all on him. However, there can be no doubt that the blame lies firmly at your own door, allowing you to leave. So I shall not grumble or grouse any longer. May this guilt die with me. No, stop, my dear fellow. The fault is mine. Phew. It's like he gets people to admit their own faults. It's like, I'm gonna kill myself. It's like, no, don't do it. It's actually my fault. It's like, aha, tricked. Gotcha. Works every time. It would appear the fight is over. I do humbly apologize, Mr. Winniebank. Evidently, my questionable disposition preoccupied this tragedy. Well, if you were to be Mr. Herlock Sholmes without that questionable disposition now, would you? I do believe you may be right, sir. It's either laugh or cry, I suppose. You are, it must be said, one of my more challenging customers. I need to remind you of the particular collection of items that you brought through my door in the past. Oh, particular items? In the extreme, madame, for example, the unpublished manuscript of Petronius' work, The Knowledge of Herlock Sholmes, or some such. Oh my, a new full-fledged novel? It's like, yeah, I wrote this book. It's not published, but here you go. And unpublished? A story I have yet to read, you mean? Although I guess if you're like well-known, you know, those can go for quite a lot. It's like, here's Raiders of the Lost Ark, here's the real ending, right? It's like just a film reel. Forgive me. Wait, before you die, you must tell me more. I must know more. Tell me everything. Wow, Soto-san is really fired up now. Is there really an unpublished story under this very roof? Well, one day's gentleman here has borne the old metal chest, you see. Ooh. I would like to entrust this to you into your care for a while, Mr. Winniebank. For a chest like that, 1 shilling, sir, and not a farthing more. It has something of very great value indeed. The latest manuscript, reincarnating the adventures of one Mr. Herlock Sholmes. I beg your pardon, a manuscript? You wish to deposit a manuscript? Indeed I do, for I am confident it will be quite safe here. And that was that. As such, Mr. Sholmes' latest tale of otherworldly mystery lies dormant in my storeroom. Mr. Sholmes, is that really true? Do I sense that someone doesn't want to talk about this? I continue to pay your fees, do I not? Then kindly continue to store my lodgings securely. Of course, sir, of course. They're safe and sound with me, I assure you, on my life. This is all very strange. I wonder, could I ask you something? Ah, a gentleman from the East, I see. Yes, that sable suit. I suppose I could offer you 6 for it? Without wishing to offend, the tone is somewhat dull. Sorry? Haha, but if you're a splendid attire, madame, 5 guineas, no less. The colours are exquisite, the design exotic, the Eastern artistry at its finest, I may say. Yeah, so for his like formal suit, he's like, nah, it's kind of crap. But hers, Hell yeah, give me that. Oh my, 5 guineas, you say? How interesting. Why do I feel those I've suffered some sort of defeat here? Actually, I was hoping to ask you about your business. I've heard that pawnbrokers are used rather like banks here in London. Yes, sir, indeed. Many of my customers utilize the establishment as you described. I appraised their items and offered them appropriate loan of 2 months of secure storage. Oh, really? Interesting. Yeah, so they can hold it for a bit. I guess if they want it back at some point. Interesting. It doesn't go like up there immediately for sale. If in that time they repay the original sum to me plus the agreed interest, their items are happily returned. But what happens if they don't pay you the money? Then the items are offered for sale in my shop, as you can see on the shelves behind me. Do you never sell items before the 2 months has passed then? That's right, madame, that's right, which means some considerable responsibility rests on my shoulders. Should a customer's precious belongings be lost, the only recompense is for me is to end it all. The very idea, Mr. Windybank, is absurdly. One should never talk of one's demise so casually. Says the man who was telling us it was all a good day on the dial this morning. Yeah, exactly. Who was the guy I woke up that was super depressed? It's like, yeah, everything should die. And let us not forget that I've already helped you take the measures to ensure such a tragedy never occurs. Oh, what sort of measures? I engineered a simple device of which Mr. Windybank has installed here in the shop. I call it the red-handed recorder. Is that not so, Mr. Windybank? What's that deep sigh all about? What on earth is a red-handed recorder? Use your eyes, my dear fellow. There are just 2 below the ceiling. I don't see that in the shop. No? What? Okay. Like looking around the room, I can't actually see that anywhere. Okay. I can see what appears to be a camera attached to some sort of timing device. Very astute. Is that indeed a camera furnished with some 100 pieces of circuloid film? And every 30 minutes precisely, the camera automatically records the appearance of the shop. Here, I have an example I can show you. Interesting. So it's like a borderline security camera, except it just goes off every 30 minutes. Yes, a print from the camera set to record the activity at the shop counter. I developed a special type of film so sensitive it produces a crystal clear image, even in the darkness. Really? That's extraordinary. Yes, and you can clearly see the counter and the door behind it. Look. A skeleton. So you see, were someone to enter the premises with an ill intent, his identity would be summarily exposed. But did you not say the photographic prints were taken at 30-minute intervals? Indeed, as you say, my dear madame. Then what the incident would occur between the times? One could only say. Now, it would be a cruel twist of fate. I must confess, your devices have been giving me some cause for distress of late. I beg your pardon, Mr. Windybank. Surely they are anything but distressing. Reassuring is the word. It's the cost of the film, sir. You're most graciously placed not 1 but 2 cameras in my shop, after all. Which means I must pay for nigh on 100 and utterly useless prints every single day. Right. Because I guess like they go off like every 30 minutes. And there's only 100 in there, so. So you borderline, if like, depending on his business, I guess, you get borderline like the same photograph. like X amount of times per day. I'm afraid the cost of the film will break me before I'm very much older. Yeah, should set it up that it takes a photo when there's like motion or something. Motion sensitive, not time sensitive. Nevertheless, a small price to pay to ensure the safety of my preferred pawnbrokery. No. My dear fellows, we are on the very edge where safety and security come at a price. Oh, heaven help us. Now then, Mr. Sholmes, allow me to return your precious violin. Yeah, the colors are completely different. How did he fuck that up? Yeah, I remember my violin being brown, having cracks in it and holes in it. Don't remember it being red. Of course. Ah, the very thing. Thank you, Mr. Windybank. Perhaps this might mark the end of a particular items you try to pop, Because if anything were to happen to one of them, this would be the only answer. I really think you ought to stop waving that gun around. Maybe someone could get hurt. Fear not. Sorry? I've only loaded a single bullet, so no one but myself could possibly get harmed. Not true, but alright. That's not really what I meant. Good day to you then, Mr. Windybank. It's been a pleasure, as always, Mr. Sholmes. As soon as they leave, bang. Oh, he really was gonna do it. Oh. So, Mr. Narhoda. Now we can explore at last. Okay, so now I can look around. Sure. Look at this. Look at this lovely, big, shiny boxby. That, my dear madame, is a music box. Surely you have such things in your own country? Oh my, yes, I've never certainly seen one so large before. Shall we listen for a while? Now play the remix version. Drop the bass. Ah, what a sublime sound. It's like the music of angels. I've never heard anything like it before in my entire life. This particular specimen is This particular specimen is of the larger variety, commonly found in the public houses of restaurants. There is a metal disc inside of which the notes are to be played are recorded. Simply by replacing the disc with another, any music you care to imagine can be played. My goodness, what a simply delightful machine! Indeed, though their popularity has waned recently with the development of gramophone, of course. Science and technology has advanced at an overwhelming pace. Yeah, I'm sure records will go out of style soon after that, right? They won't become a collector's item or anything, right? Yeah, I think these days, like, people still do buy records, but yeah, this borderline collective. I don't think anybody like listens to them. Or maybe some do, but still. It's like listening to them over like digital music, so the sound quality is just way better. Oh, that's the skull that I saw in the photo. I see. Okay. There seems to be a little door hidden behind that curtain there. That leads to a storage room where Mr. Windybank keeps articles that are currently in pawn. Ah, I see. There's nothing of particular interest inside. I certainly wouldn't recommend any licentious activity. Recommended or not, it's not something that I tend to do. But there's one key, and Mr. Windybank keeps it hidden in his pocket at all times. Before he sleeps, he places it into a small pot which he slides under his pillow. How on earth did you know that, Mr. Sholmes? I am a detective, sir. It is my business to know what others do or do not. I am frequently assailed by information that I neither care for nor wish to retain. Mr. Sholmes, You are a wonder. And that prime suspect of this little pawnbrokery has ever burgled. Yeah, exactly. It's like I know the ins and outs of your whole entire operation. Look at that enormous ledger open on the counter there. Well, that's what I wasn't looking at, but okay. Mr. Winnybag is, if nothing else, very particular about recording items into that he accepts. He'd have to be, otherwise he'd get himself in all sorts of trouble. Which might explain the thing that catches my eye far more than a ledger. This revolver here. Just casually on the counter. Do not entertain every single thought of a pie-filling on an article here obtained, my dear fellow. I assure you, Mr. Winnybag would not hesitate to draw that weapon with a speed beyond his poorly size. Oh, you don't mean he'd blow his brains out? Indeed, in recompense for his blunder. Oh my, someone breaks in. You can't rob me if I kill myself. But in any case, of course, he would never do such a thing. Why would she even suggest it? Yeah, I guess that was like kind of close to... Because I was looking at this sign here, but that's alright. What else? I can't look at the skull. Oh. Can't find anything out of place. Okay, that's just a generic thing because I was trying to look at something that I can't look at. Oh, I see. What an assortment of things here on the shelves here. Crockery, footwear, clocks, and watches. Almost anything you care to imagine. Those are fortified items offered to sale by the pawnbroker. Yeah, I think I was doing volunteer work at a place that accepts like donation items, and I think there was like a bunch of people that were like trying to give us like mattresses and whatnot, and it's got to the point like where I was like, no, we can't take any more. We were like literally full of mattresses. Like it's like we got too many. Can't take any more. Those are fortified items offered by sale by the pawnbroker. What does that really mean, though? When you pawn or creakily pop an item, the broker loans you money against its worth. He stores the item for an agreed period of time, after which the loan must be repaid. If not, he is free to display his item for shop for sale, for the price of his choosing. Oh yes, now you've explained it. I'm noticing lower price tags on everything. Of course, simply by paying the agreed interest on the loan, one can extend the period of safekeeping. So like all the items in the shop would be succumb to that, I guess. It's like someone who just didn't come in and redeem it. Or maybe someone that was just like, I don't want this anymore, give me money for it. Or I guess you could be like, I want it back, or it's like, yeah, just give me money for it and put it in your shop, I don't care. I guess it could be either or. Because I'm sure there's people that come in there just want to get rid of something. Just like, give me some money for it. Right? Yeah. So you may pawn that black garb of yours without fear, my dear fellow. My treasured university uniform never embodies my student spirit. Okay, I looked at all that. What is that? The Thinker? No, I don't think that's quite the Thinker. Now, what do you suppose this rather enormous machine does? It seems to have two little windows for looking, though. Allow me to enlighten you, my dear fellows. What you're looking at is a stereoscope. Stereoscope. A stereoscope? Fascinating. It is aptly named, I assure you. Look through its eyepieces and see for yourself. Oh, I should be delighted to. Excuse me a moment while I just have a look. Just before you do, there is something I should point out. My dear fellows, in order to see the image properly, stereoscopically, if it were, you need to be cross-eyed. However, that's beyond you. It is of little consequence today. Alright, then I'm going to try it. Ah! Mr. Naruhodo, you must see at once! It's like coming out at me. It's like trying to do like those 3D magic eye books as a kid. And there'll always be that one kid that's like, I can't do it. Oh, alright then. So I need to be cross-eyed, like I'm trying to look at my own nose. Oh, I see. Yeah. Let me see, can I do it on the fly? I'm trying. Yeah, there we go. Oh, it kind of works. Yeah, it's like the portrait of the person kind of like stands out from the background a tiny bit. Yeah. What the? I don't believe it. Just a photographic print, but it seems like you could reach out and touch it. No, it's not that not that extreme, but alright. Yes, the sense of death is startling, is it not? Stereoscopes of London's many fads. They often found in little stores of the park. People are queue for hours to see them. Why? Why are people meddling with such black magic? It is no magic, my dear madame. It is, well, far too complicated to explain in the present. We shall save the lesson for another day. Well, it's not too hard, you know, you take a photo here and you take a photo there and you just put the two side by side. It's an illusion. Oh. So is that it? Oh, almost. Look at this, whatever this could be used for. I have no idea. Ah. There's a small catch here. Look. We're going to open it, aren't we? Oh my, that's amazing. It's some sort of spring-loaded mechanism. Which we'll never manage to put back in the way it was before. What are you two doing? What? Us? Nothing. No, nothing at all. Whatever this device is, it seems to have a pair of little windows to look through. I feel as though I've seen something rather similar to this elsewhere. Yeah, I can't even get like a good look at it, so I can't even tell like what it is. Some sort of spring-loaded mechanism, huh? Alright. It's not a calendar you see easily miss, is it? Is it accurate, or? 15th of April, today's date. Oh, there you go. Yes, that's not for sale, I might point out. It's an Eastern Star page-by-day calendar. Every night at midnight, I tear off the front page to reveal the following day's date. It's a perfect calendar for tearaway fellows such as yourself, Mr. Windybank. And who was it who walked out of here with the wrong violin before? Well, when the agreed storage period is passed without their payment, articles are forfeited, you see. So I have to keep a close eye on the date. It's something of a pawnbroker's obsession, you might say. Oh, yes, I can see that you're very dedicated to your job. What? Only a tuppence for it? That ain't fair, and you know it. The article's barely worth a penny, miss, and I cannot offer any more. What's this now? Sounds like an argument by brewing by over the counter. Come on, that can't be right. I'd even read the proper butchers at it. I didn't ask you to see, young girl. Oh, it's her. Wait, don't we know? I'm sure I recognize her. I was expecting her to come back. Ah, this is a young lady from Mr. McGiller's trial 2 months ago. Yeah, I remember. Her name is Gina Lestrade, my lord. She's a chancer, earns her crossbow like large clouds, leaving people with their purses. That's right, she's a thief. She steals stuff, and she comes here to pawn it off and get some money for it. What's commonly called a pickpocket. Got a new coat. Gordon Bennett, you lots. Still with that gun, it seems. Hello, Miss Lestrade. I hope you've been well. What? You remember me then? Do ya? Well, I remember being heavily surrounded by smoke, that's for sure. So, what are you doing in here? Down and out like the rest of us, nothing to eat. Come pop by that black weasel. Sorry, coat. Have ya? What is it about black uniform that makes this everything comment on it? Ah, good day, unless I'm much mistaken. You would be the young pickpocket who stole our experimental smoke grenade launcher. Ah, Mr. Sholmes. So you have something of value to pawn, do you? Yeah, she just happens to go to the pawn shop that's 2 houses down from the place that she stole the gun from. A bit risky. Allow me to see the article. I shall negotiate you and with Mr. Winniebank on your behalf. Pull the other one. I don't know help from some stuck-up D. Get out of my business. Go on. I'll make trouble for you. As you wish, Miss Lestrade. I will happily remove myself from your presence. He's really done it. He's gone. I'm sorry, but as I said, there really is no room for a negotiation here. What is that thing he has in his hand? Some kind of metal disc? Interesting. Is that like a music disc or? Yeah, like that goes in the red machine there in the middle of the room, right? Yeah. And you, go on, leave me alone. Oh, Miss Lestrade, just pretend we weren't here. I shall be offended in the slightest. So Sarah-san really can stand her ground when she wants to. Whatever. Oh, I get to talk with her? Sure. Why not? Somehow, I don't really think you were the sort of person who used a pawnbroker, Miss Lestrade. Yeah, well if I am, alright, I'm a Londoner, just like everyone else. Not a problem, is it? No, not at all. Just that, well... Oh, I get it. I know what you're thinking. That thing probably don't even belong to her. It's probably all in the dive, isn't she? Yeah, I can see it written all over your shabby chase. Well, I must be thinking something else along those lines. You're not going to deny, Mr. Narhoder. Alright then, I'm just going to come out and get you to ask you straight. Do you pawn things that you steal from other people? Well, I don't know how best to answer that, really. Suppose, sometimes. Sometimes, you mean all the time. You're not going to deny it either, Miss Lestrade. But not this time, alright? I swear that thing belongs to me. The disc that Mr. Winniebank is holding. Perhaps we should see what it has to say about all this. Talk to him directly, right? Yeah, alright. Let's do that then. Mr. Winniebank, what exactly is this metal disc that Miss Lestrade has brought in? It seems to have hundreds of tiny little bumps on its surface. Ah, there's a music disc, you see? Yeah, I thought so. We're inside a music box. In a music box? What, you don't even know what a music box is? You Eastern lot aren't too savvy, eh? I know what a music box is, I've just never seen one of these discs before. A small protrusion of the metal disc encode the tune and played by the music box. You simply insert the disc and set the machine going and beautiful music plays. So incredible. Tell us what tune is on this disc. It's Scary Monsters and Nice Sprites by Skrillex. Well, I'm afraid I couldn't tell you that. There are so many different types of music box so many different types of music boxes, you see. British made, German, Swiss. I have no way of knowing which particular music this disc was made for. Ah, I see. And that's it in a nutshell. I wouldn't have any customers for an item like this, even if the young lady forfeited it. Really, I'm already offering more than I should have at a penny. That's a packet of lies. He told me he did. He said it was, well... He who? Yeah, exactly. He? The person you stole it from? Never you mind, it just ain't right, that's all. This is worth good money, I know it is. Well then, you'll have to try your luck at another pawnbroker's, won't you? She's been in before, of course, the little tatter demon. Tatted Demalion? I see. And brought some dubious articles with her on every single time, I might add. Dubious? What are you trying to say? I am one honest customer, me. So, is there anything dubious about this dish that she brought in today? Well, if only that simple. Sorry? What do you mean? What she actually brought in was a storage ticket. Ah, storage ticket, so... Miss Lestrade actually come in to redeem the article from you today, is that right? Yeah, that's right. A girl like me has a lot of stuff that needs storing. Alright, yes, that's definitely dubious. The article in question would have been forfeited by midnight tonight. But as she gave me the ticket for it, I paid both the loan and the interest. I was hoping to return the article to her. But what was the article? Do tell us, Mr. Windybank. The little scamp was wearing it, madame. Oh, the coat. Oh, the overcoat that she redeemed. Oh. What? What's wrong with that? It fits, doesn't it? I mean, it's mine, so of course it does. So, what about the disc then? How does that come into all this? Ah, the disc is something else. A new article to pawn if the girl and I can agree a price. Okay. I'm confused. I thought you said that Miss Lestrade had brought in the storage ticket today. It's really quite simple. Yes, the child bought me a storage ticket and the money she owed in it, as you say. But this heavy black coat which you returned to her care, as I understood it. That's right, yes. And rather unsupervisedly, as soon as she, little ragamuffin, put the thing on, she went rifling through the pockets. Oh, you mean... Oh, she found the disc in the pockets and was like... immediately tried to pawn it off. What? Don't you know it's rude to stare at a lady? Ah, I see. So it came from the pocket of the overcoat, did it? If you mean this disc, then yes, exactly, madame. It's a bit dubious. And she immediately tried to pawn it. Quite a high price as well. This is all rather suspicious, I think. Give it up, I'm just trying to pawn something like anything else would, anyone else would. Miss Lestrade, I must ask who deposited the overcoat here in the first place. Well, me? It doesn't really appear to be your size. The old man, it was the old man's, isn't it? Is it Miss Lestrade? Yes, this is definitely rather suspicious. Why are we prying into this? Why don't we mind our own business? Out of the way, please. Oh, hello. Little, Mad Hatter-esque. Who's this picture postcard English gentleman? Good day to all of you, ladies, gentlemen. What's your problem, eh? There is no problem, as long as you remove yourself. I have a matter to discuss with the proprietor. And if you intend to make a problem of it, I shall see you outside, little girl. For hiding, you deserve. Look, it ain't obvious. I ain't done talking with him yet. If you think you're such a gent, then you should know how to wait in line. Well, you are an impudent little brat, aren't you? As well as a pickpocket. Eh? Who are you? How'd you know who I am? The question is, how do you not know who I am? You haven't the courtesy to even remember the faces of your victims, it seems. What? You mean, from you? Broker? I see, so it's his coat. Just see, she stole the ticket from him. Yes, sir. I believe this filthy pickpocket thief has just redeemed an article from you. No. Yes, The article in question belongs to me. I demand it for it be returned at once. Oh my! Nah, that's a lie. What are you trying to pull? Give me back my overcoat, you rascal. And needless to say, any music box discs too. No, you can't have it. You just can't. It's the old man's, or it was, and that's mine. Goodness, Mr. Naruhodo. This is a very awkward situation. Yes. I think perhaps we should hear both sides of the story in a little more detail. How about you guys own mind your own frickin' business? Like, what do we have to do with this, with anything? Jeez. Just can't help ourselves, can we? Converse. Miss Lestrade, what is this gentleman saying? What do you think? It's all lies, isn't it? Obviously. I swear on my life, I ain't never laid eyes on that dandy before. Let's hear it now, you little ragamuffin. You stole it, didn't you? That ticket you brought here just now. No, I swear it. I swear to God. It was barely an hour ago. I was walking along the street minding my own business when this little gulling ran into me. I knew that once what had happened. I had been robbed yet again, I thought to myself, those wretched pickpockets. Yet again. Oh yes, you can see. Oh, excuse me. I'm a man of impeccable style, and this isn't the first time I've been targeted by these back-slum scoundrels. Nice JoJo pose. Now then, relinquish my overcoat. Come along now, Miss Lestrade. Give the good gentleman his coat back. If you're going to cause trouble, I should have no choice to call the police. Hold on, why is everyone thinking on me? Just look at this dandy cove, and you think I'm the dodgy one? I'm sorry, but no one's gonna believe you. Well, what about evidence? Yeah. Where's your evidence that I've stolen something, huh? Come on, let's see it. Oh, I have some evidence, naturally. You what? Well, let's see then. Evidence that the article on Miss Lestrade redeemed it actually belongs to this gentleman. Well, of course, we need only consult Mr. Winniebank's ledger to know the truth. True. We'll be able to look up the name of the person who deposited the article in the first place. Yes, brilliant. I'm very sorry, but I'm afraid that won't be possible. Oh? I never ask customers' names, and also a strict policy of mine. Why not? That means anybody can come in, well, I guess, you know. I guess if you... Oh! It's hard to say. It's like, I'm just thinking of, like, stores that you can, like, pre-order or, like, layaway stuff. They ask for your name, right? Why not? Well, now, as you can imagine, some of my customers have circumstances to consider. A great many of them prefer to maintain their anonymity. Yes, I see. Well, if anything, you just make up a name, right? But then how can you know an article belongs to the person asking to redeem it? Oh, it's quite simple. Good, sir. Might I trouble you for the watchword associated with your article in question? Oh, I guess he gives him like a word, or like a code, I guess, that only they'd know. Of course, it's Professor. Yes, that's right. And the evidence, that's all the evidence we need. The gentleman is the rightful owner of this article, no without doubt. A watchword? Interesting. So, about these watchwords, Mr. Windybank. Oh, well, even if he gives him like a slip of paper that he like signs himself, or maybe they both have to sign it, and then he gives it to them, and then he's like, "Bring this back, and you can have it." Something like that, maybe. So about these watchwords, Mr. Windybank, as I just explained, I never ask customers' names when they deposit items without me. Hydrate? Oh, you got it. I've more or less been drinking water this whole entire time, but I'll drink more. Yeah, I really should like drink more water. Cause I'm still mildly sick, so even my throat, I've been noticing like as I've been talking, it's been getting a little bit more dry faster than usual. So yeah, definitely should. There are many items why certain customers would like to keep their activities secret. That wasn't exactly a subtle glance at Mr. Sholmes just now, was it? Great detectives have no dark secrets, none at all. Yes, well, anyway, that's why I always ask for a watchword whenever I accept a new article. In many ways, it's like the secret combination of numbers I use to unlock a vault. The date of deposit, the description, and a watchword, I uniquely identify each of them. And of course, I give the storage ticket to the customer. When someone comes to redeem something, I ask for the ticket and the watchword. You had to accidentally like give like a person like the same, or accidentally give them like the same word you used before, right? If you're like just choosing by random. Or maybe like flip to like a random page in the dictionary. It'd be like, I'm gonna use this word. That could work. And if that someone tells you the correct watchword, you return the article? That's right, sir. Yes, and as soon as the requisite fee is paid. And I have supplied you with the information you require already, but for the avoidance of doubt, the article in question is overcoat, deposited 2 months ago on the 15th of February. And with the watchword of Professor. All perfectly correct information, sir. But how? Really, this is beyond a joke now. There was no further room for doubt. It's like, but how? It's like, he's the one who frickin' deposited it. Obviously. How else? It doesn't really look like it's oversized on her, so... Like, if he's gonna put it on, it's probably gonna look pretty tight on him. Okay, that's everything I can converse with. I guess I can talk with him directly. Sure. Excuse me, but who are you? One would expect to inquirer to introduce himself first. Although clearly you are not British, so perhaps our ways are foreign to you. Oh, sorry, yes, we're from the Empire of Japan. We're studying here. Oh yes, Japan. I've heard of this place. This guy is incensed. This guy is straight up just a JoJo character. No doubt about it. Or very inspired. Its inhabitants live on some fiery brown-colored soup, dressed in exotic space spices. You might be thinking of somewhere else. And what was that theatrical gesturation about? Perhaps anyway, if you were a gentleman, sir. You have your name first before inquiring after your name of another. Of course, yes. I'm Ryanosuke Naruhodo. I'm a lawyer and a student of law, really. My name is Sasuna Makitoba. I'm Mr. Naruhodo's assistant. I see. My name is Benedict. Yes. Eggert Benedict. Really? I see. Someone's having a laugh. Because isn't Eggs Benedict supposed to be like some sort of like... What is that? That's like a thing. Eggert. Like Eggs Benedict is supposed to be like a thing. Isn't it supposed to be like a meal or something like that? Yeah, it's a dish. Right? Yeah. Eggs Benedict. It's a common American breakfast or brunch dish, consisting of 2 hours of English muffin, each topped with Canadian bacon poached in an egg. Right. Yeah, I thought so. Some type of eggs recipe. Yeah, I thought so. Yeah, that's a very in Ace Attorney fashion, where they take some sort of like, pun or like some sort of like, haha, just name a character after them. It's like very common in Japanese, the English translation, where they just like make up names. So I think it's like if you look up the names of like Pokemon in Japan, it's like a lot of them are like nowhere even close to how they are in English. It's like obviously like the regulars, like Charmander, Ivysaur, Squirtle, Pikachu. It's like those are like 1-to-1, but it's like some of them are like completely different, so it happens. And I expected like this character probably in Japan has like some sort of other like, completely different name, so I wouldn't doubt it. Enchante. He's so refined in how he holds himself and how he speaks, but his name is suspicious. Now to the matter at hand. Mobiko, return it at once. To someone with style to carry it off. This character is quickly becoming my favorite character in the game. Every move he makes, every breath he takes, I can't stand watching him. So refined for someone called Eggert. And he's like, well, I guess he doesn't get to choose his name, but still. Or he's gonna like change his whole entire style. Be like, yeah, I'm gonna change my whole entire outlook on life. Even though my name's Eggert, I'm gonna show the whole entire world that they shouldn't judge me based on my name. So let there be an end to the matter. And to thank you for your custom, Mr. Eggert Benedict, sir. With such reasonable rights of interest, I may even decide to come back. So, this is why I like grown-ups. Just because I'm a driver, everyone thinks that makes me a liar. And the contents of this coat pockets, if you please, broker. But of course, sir, here is the disc for you. Just this one? Pardon, sir? I was expecting another, that is positive. Another disc? Oh dear. I regret to inform you, sir, that that was what was deposited with me was merely the overcoat. This happened to be one of the pockets, but I was completely unaware of it until now. So, Godling, you're hiding more of what's rightfully mine, are you? Says who, I don't know nothing about it. Very well. Then I shall bid you farewell, say goodbye to style. Wait a minute, that disc is mine. Oh, shit. What do you think you're doing, you little tramp? This guy straight up just take it by force. You've drawn blood, you filthy animal. Oh my, yes, there's blood on the disc. Oh, is he gonna die? Is she gonna kill him with the disc? It's because of all the sharp little bumps. The man must have scratched his finger on them. I found it first, alright? I mean, I belong to the old man. So you're not having it. Or you take it. Me? I hang on to it and I'll have it off me again, so you keep hold of it. Mr. Lestrade, why is this so important to her? Okay. Apparently we have the music box disc now. We have it in the court record, even though the case hasn't even begun yet. You there, in the Black Library. Hand that discovery to me at once, please. It's in my court record, I can't. No, don't. He's lying. Grown-ups are liars. What do I do now? How am I going to resolve this? Time to run away. Oh, I can't do anything except for examine and move, right? I guess I can move outside. Mr. Sholmes, what are you examining with such keen interest there? As you enjoy a bar of caramel, I see. So, you found me at last, Mr. Narhoder. Sorry? After all that young pickpocket sent me on my way, I was forced to lurk in the shadows. Cruelly ostracized, and the rest of you partook in the joyful atmosphere of the fellowship. I had nothing to occupy my mind, so I was too ashamed to let society see what downfall had done to me. So fraying and mock interest, I pretend to examine this tedious trinket in the desolate place. Whilst, as you shrewdly observed, gnawing on the only friend I have left, this 7% solution of caramel. Pray, do you claim to understand the depths of my despair, Mr. Narhoder? But how could you? I was so lonely, so desperately lonely. Then, why on earth did you rejoin the conversation? Things have gone from bad to worse here, you know. Yes, I overheard much of your conversation. Or rather, in my crave for human contact, the ears devoured every word that was uttered. You really were sad, weren't you? Poor Mr. Sholmes, I feel simply awful for you. It would seem that my interventions are correct. Oh, surely you're not about to tell us that you have solved the entire case once again? My dear madame, sometimes I wonder, were my genius deductions to be commodized? How much can I pawn it for? It seems that Mr. Sholmes had another reason for flashes of inspiration. But who knows if it will help us resolve the situation between Miss Lestrade and the mysterious gentleman. What's the right thing to do here? Sure, why not? Well, Miss Lestrade, it appears that you find yourself in something of a predicament. So, where the blue blazes have you been, eh? Pardon? When a lady's in trouble, you gent's supposed to be there to help. Straight away. Not an hour later. Harsh. And who, pray tell, are you? Two of the weirdest characters in the game, these. Mr. Eggert Benedict. And you have in my eyes of avertedly encyclopedic array of curiosities about your person. Nevertheless, there are two immovable conclusions I have drawn. I beg your pardon. The first is this. The true reason for your visit for the pawnbroker today is something you've not yet revealed. And the second is this. A considerable crime of the contemplation. One will orchestrate the intent to steal a vast sum of money. Well, Mr. Benedict, what say you to mine abductions? How? He's turned as white as a half-boiled egg. It would seem that once again Mr. Sholmes has made a flawless deduction. Just who do you think you are, sir? Ah, yes, as I hoped. That's precisely the painted expression I was looking for. So, shall we begin? Time has come for yet another Sherlock Sholmes' logic and reasoning spectacular. Is it going to be a long one? Oh, yes, it is. Oh boy, here we go. This again. Don't want to drop this gimmick, do we? Keep it going. First of all, we must ask ourselves on what business you have mentioned in this pawnbrokery today. You claim to have followed the pickpocket here, having the redemption of tickets stolen from you on the street. But that is most certainly a lie. The real truth is something quite different. As revised by which you hold in your hand. Ah, yes, what you brought to the shop in the first place is the staff recruitment flyer. This piece of paper in your hand is the staff wanted advertisement for this very shop. Yet even the most unobservant person would realize that a man of your appearance has no need of such employment. In other words, there is some alternative motive for your actions. That cane in which you unwittingly clutched your purse inhibits an uncontrollable contradiction. What utter rot! I've had this cane for years! The contradiction, what to speak, is, of course, the missing furyl. Oh, I think not. I think it's the initials engraved in the very top, but I guess we gotta change that when we get to that point. The end of the meeting, walking down will be determined with a metal furyl to protect the wooden tip. And yeah, detail analysis shows that the wooden is tipped to be utterly bare. The AG at the very top. Therefore, there's only one conclusion. The rod that you hold in your hand, which appears to be a walking cane. In fact, no cane at all. You recoil, sir, is something wrong? I will die. And then you're recoiling, you inevitably facilitate the answer to the next conundrum to present itself. Namely, what's the truth behind the rod you bear? Yes, your reaction set portrays the truth. The handle, which you evidently would like to conceal, is the key to understanding the riddle, you see. I was gonna spell it out for us right now. From the moment I saw it, my suspicions were aroused. What walking cane demands such a stout handle? Mused I. Okay, that's not it at all. He's got this completely wrong. But of course, as I said, this is no walking cane. No, that rod. Is the broken hand of a shovel. What? Are you insane? And now, having determined the indomitable truth, the conclusion is clear. Your true motive for coming here was to take employment in the establishment in order to engrave the ground beneath the premises. What a calculated crime you conceive, sir. A wickedly calculated crime. And like, there's multiple topics, right? So, yeah. Yeah, so the way this works is he's gonna go through it, he's gonna just go through the spiel, but he like makes mistakes. And we're gonna take out these bits and pieces and we're gonna change them around, and then it makes sense. So with these predictions, he kinda almost gets it, but he kinda misses the mark, and then we gotta correct him, and then it makes sense. Now, Mr. Benedict, let us continue. For me, us to expose the details of the elaborate crime that you have been planning. This is utterly absurd. You suggest that I, a gentleman, intend to excavate the ground beneath the pawnbrokery with a broken shovel? What on earth do you propose I expect to find there? Some long-forgotten treasure, I suppose? Save a fanciful theory, might possibly with a reason I have to do as you say. Oh, but there is ample reason. As you only two are well aware, Mr. Benedict. Your feud of lands is more telling than I could have hoped. What? Let's consider what you have motive for a man to infiltrate a shop such as this and covertly dig beneath its floor. The answer revealed by this cancelled notice on the counter, which your eyes are inadvertently drawn. This letter gives notice to public words that are carried out in the local area. And according to the enclosed plan of the upcoming sewage works, beneath the shop runs a sewer that adjourns to another, and runs through under the bank on the opposite side of the road. This man can't enter the sewers now, is it? By excavating the ground beneath our feet, you would gain access to the waterway. That flows very close proximity to the great vault of the financial institution opposite. What are you? In summary, sir, you devised a master plan to pull out an elaborate bank robbery by the dint of underground tunnels. Master plan? Extremely far-fetched. Which brings us to the last and final chapter of this lurid scheme. With what plunder the thief hoped to make out from the underground vault of the bank? Are you quite serious? Having constituted with Scotland Yard some days ago, I happen to know the answer. But naturally, the answer is no secret to you, is it, Mr. Benedict? I have no idea what you're talking about. Lamb presented a rather interesting piece of evidence. You see, this picture postcard tells us all we need to know. A postcard of great exhibition, I'm afraid it quite lost me. Currently in the final stage of preparation, the great exhibition is to be underway. And the government provided extra funds to complete the centerpiece, the Crystal Tower. Funds that currently sit in the vault of the bank, on the other side of the road. Pardon? Yes, considerable time you have been contemplating. Is the theft of the which sits in the vault of that bank the special reserve funds for the great exhibition? Now, of course, that is a top secret police information, so keep it on your head, please. And then he's like, good idea. Money, you say, ready for the taking? Oh, I won't. Of course I won't tell anybody. Right? And thus concludes Herlock Sholmes' great deduction of this pawnbroking puzzle. Alright, not quite. Mr. Sholmes. Well, Mr. Naruhodo, an impressively upbeat deduction for the detective racked with loneliness. Would you not agree? It was true what you said about the bank over the road and what was in its vault. Indeed, though few know of existence, I was the one of the government's most closely guarded secrets. You casually blabbing it like it's public knowledge. Gregson told me in the strictest of confidence. But you just announced it to everyone here, rather loudly, in fact. Ah, and it was such a big secret. How could Mr. Benedict come to find out about it? There could be one explanation for that. Clearly, it's because the man is a criminal. What? But what if he didn't know anything about the money in the vaults? Nor if he's a criminal if he said. Then burying or buying a brand new shovel is sure to be the first thing he does now if you reveal that as a secret. Oh. Or if he doesn't, maybe Mr. Windybank he already has plenty of shovels here after all. Oh, my life! I assure you I'm not so unscrupulous. Well, hopefully this has taught you a valuable lesson. Sensitive information must be handled with the utmost of care. One can never be sure someone so privy to secrets won't disclose them, and once the word is out, it's out. Perhaps I'll think twice about confiding in her next time, Mr. Sholmes. Excellent idea, Mr. Naruhodo. Excellent idea. Well then, Mr. Naruhodo, you know what you must do, I'm sure. Yes, listen to that great deduction again, and see if you can massage it into shape. Very well then. Let's start once more from the beginning. I've heard like Sholmes is magnificent, logic and reasoning spectacular. Now it's my turn. Yeah, but this is pretty easy. These aren't really too challenging. So we just gotta pick out like certain bits and pieces that don't quite make sense, and then we gotta be like, alright, let's find something that actually makes sense. First of all, we must ask ourselves on what business you have mentioned in his pawnbrokery today. You claim to have followed the pickpocket here, having the redemption ticket stolen for you on the street. But that is most certainly a lie. The real truth is something quite different. As revealed by the which you hold in your hands. Yes, that was brought you to the shop in the first place is the staff recruitment flyer. So, by Mr. Sholmes' reasoning, Mr. Benedict came in order to apply for a job so he could dig down through the floor. Yes, and attempted to tell him the sewers to gain access to the money in the vaults of the bank across the road. But he wouldn't go very far with a broken shovel, would he? No, I don't think it's fair to say that moves lie elsewhere. The question is, where? What did Mr. Benedict hear at this particular point in time? Okay, and we should be able to... Well, yeah, we should be able to spin it around accordingly, right? We'll check the back. Oh, of course. I'm gonna inspect first. Fucking... Yeah, I hate how it does that. Like, it has, like, no, like... You can interact with X, but it doesn't say that on the bottom right-hand side. It has history and present, but there's no inspect, but you can inspect, so... That's the fucked up part. Oh. Look at all the scribbled notes on the back of the flyer here. I don't believe it. What is it? Listen to what it says. Name, Gina Lestrade, height 5'2". Oh, it's all about her? Interesting. Green cap, scuffy white waistcoat, grubby white shirt, blue satchel, ragged. It's a detailed description of Miss Lestrade. Goodness. There's even a sketch of her hat and all. Although it showed to her she'd fire that smoke grenade in Audrey's face for sure. And look, the details of the shot has been written down here too. Oh, interesting. Whitney Banks Pawnbrokery, Baker Street, redemption deadline, 15th of April. Which is today's date. Why did Mr. Benedict have that information scrolled on the back of that piece of paper? Did it have the code work at all? Code word as well? And can we present it now?
Take that!
Yes. Yes, what brought you to the shop in the first place is the info about Miss Lestrade. Why so, my dear fellow? It would appear that the writing and the sketches were reversed to the flyer. Pertinent to the pickpocket Miss Lestrade and to Mr. Winnieback's pawnbrokery here. Ah. You originally told us. They had merely given chase to Miss Lestrade after she stole a redemption ticket from you. But that, sir, is a thinly veiled lie. Is the information on the back of the flyer that led you here today, by which I mean... Here to Winnieback's pawnbrokery, and today is the redemption of the deadline of the overcoat. So you wait outside the young ladies matching the description you have written down to arrive. You've gone to the lengths to hide the reason for your pursuit of Miss Lestrade. In other words, there is some ulterior motive for your actions. The cane in which you unliveredly clutched your person exhibits an unconvertible contradiction. But I don't rot. I've had this game for years. The contradiction of which I speak is, of course, the missing fuel. Or is it? What's a fuel? It's the metal cap commonly found at the end of a cane, Mr. Narhoder. Ah, the bit that makes the nice clacking sound on the pavement. Yes, exactly, and Mr. James is right. It appears to be missing on the cane. But it doesn't actually look broken, does it? No, it doesn't, though the gentleman certainly did require Mr. James identified the cane suspicious. In other words, there's something so secret about the cane that Mr. Benedict would rather we don't know. Yes, the other side, right? Unless I can rotate it more. Is there anything else? No. Yeah, it's definitely this spot here. Look here, Miss Sasoro. There are some letters on the handle. Ah, yes, those must be the initials, I think. In the West, it's kind of customary for people to engrave their belongings with the first letters of their names. So Herlock Sholmes would be HS, you mean? That's right. And the initials on this cane, obviously. Oh. A-G. Why does it feel like as though that's not quite right? 90% right. Yep. The contradiction I want to speak is, of course, the initialing. Yes, yeah. The most astute observation, wouldn't you say, Mr. Eggert Benedict? We are led to believe, sir, the initials are E.B. But in the most possessive manner, you have your grasp a cane bearing the initials A.G. An uncontrollable contradiction indeed, would you not agree? No, you're wrong. This cane isn't... You said before that you had that cane for years. So what's your real name, chump? The one you just tries that you borrowed it from a friend or found in the park. In short, though you haul yourself to be a gentleman, you have withheld your true name. You recall, sir, something wrong? So his real name isn't Eggert Benedict. And you're recalling you overtly facilitate the answer of the next conundrum to present itself. Namely, what was the truth behind this rod you bear? Yes, your reaction says always is the truth. The handle which you evidently would like to conceal is the key to misunderstanding this riddle, you see. Let's consider the bare bones of what's happened here. Miss Lestrade redeemed that fine-looking overcoat. And now, mysterious man appeared and introduced himself with a fake name, and claiming the overcoat belongs to him. But we know they exactly identified Miss Lestrade from a written description. We suggest that everything is not. He's told us it's not everything that he's told us. Everything he's told us is untrue. So what we need to do here is somehow prove the overcoat cannot possibly belong to him. All right, what else we got? Spin. Ah, the rip. Oh yeah, I was thinking that. Yeah, because look. Yeah, because when she was wearing it, it fit her like pretty well, even though they were saying like, oh, it's too big for her. But still, look, it doesn't fit him at all. Look at this tear.
Take that!
The split seam, which you inevitably would like to conceal, is the key to misunderstanding the riddle, you see. Yes, because the overcoat is rather obviously a poor fit. Having forced it over your broad shoulders, the seam is already breaking apart. My suspicions were aroused from the outset. When you so boldly lie about your name and so boldly lay waste the pickpocket. This catalog, in truth, has been for one very specific purpose. To steal the article the young girl redeemed from Mr. Winniebank. Interesting. Or why would he want to steal it? Maybe he needs the music disc inside it. Maybe he doesn't care about the code at all. Ah! But what really irks me is this. The considerable crime I initially imagined as being considerably code-aligned. That's interesting though, because he said there's 2 discs, right? In the code? How could he not known that if it wasn't his? Unless he didn't know there was 2 discs in there, unless he just assumed there was 2, but there was only 1. Ugh, who knows? Okay, now we go to part 2. Yawning for some reason. Now, Mr. Benedict, let's continue. I think it's because we got reading so much. I think it's like when you like exhale so much, it's like you're constantly like exhaling and not like breathing properly, so that makes you yawn in accordance. I believe that may be the case. Mr. Benedict, let's continue. We must expose the details of the elaborated crime you have been having the planning. This is utterly absurd. You suggest that I, a gentleman, designed to wheeze some filch, some toy little article of pornage? Have you forgotten that I redeemed the article in the proper manner using the watchword? Had I not been the one to deposit in the first place? How could I possibly have known the relevant details? Nasi pass? Nesty pass? I don't know what that. Oh, but the watchword can be discovered. As you are the only too well, Mr. Benedict. Ah, is your further glance at more telling than I would hoped? What? Let us consider how one might come to learn a secret watchword retained to the pawn property of another. The method is revealed by the council note on the counter, which your eyes were inadvertently drawn. The direction of the deduction must have changed rather dramatically now, I think. Yes, no more talk of tunneling into sewers. Which is a pity, because it all sounded rather exciting. Anyway, can't deny this mysterious gentleman did know the watchword. Yes, Professor. If he didn't know that word, Mr. Winniebank would never allowed to redeem the article. Or, looking at it another way, if he did know that word, Mr. Winniebank would allow you to redeem the article, whether it's yours or not. So the question is this gentleman who found the watchword out somehow? Unless it was in the ledger, that's like listed like right next to it. Eggert's a bad egg, yes. Because I'm assuming it was like in here, right? Oh, I can't even examine that, so whatever. Notelet. Look at this, Mr. Soto. Ah, it appears to be a memo that Mr. Winniebank has scrawled to himself. Let's see, what does it say? Oh, Professor. Mr. Winniebank must take a note of watchwords his customers give him right before their eyes. Well, how many words are on there? 6? Like, he only had 6 customers in like the past 2 months. An alarmingly clear script as well. Oh dear, I don't know where to look. Who knows what other secrets I might see? Well, that's it then, I guess. Really nothing else I can look at, so obvious. Yeah, it's strange that like this one's a bit easier than the last one I did of these. Because I remember the last one I did of these, it was a bit more difficult. Like I was having false accusations all over the place, but this one's pretty shut and close.
Take that!
The method is revealed by this notelet on the counter, which your eyes were inadvertently drawn. Yes, the broker here follows the same procedure whenever a customer comes through to redeem an article. He asks the customer for the watchword and notes down the response uttered by the notelet that he has to hand. Then it consults the ledger. Oh, and then confirms whether or not the watchword matches that of the article in question. I would expect nothing more of a diligent pawnbroker. But his diligence clearly has disadvantages. What are you talking about? It's increasingly apparent that you were present in the shop before your accusation against Miss Lestrade. Or unless he came in here before and he found the watchword out before actually coming here and trying to redeem the article of clothing. Interesting. In all likelihood, you followed her inside and then observed her talking to Mr. Windybank. The diligent broker made a note of the watchword in his common practice. You observed him writing the word professor on the note laid beside the ledger. Why would he write it if it was over, huh? So maybe he like wrote it down so it'd be there and ready to go. So in case she said it. But how'd she get it if she didn't know the... It doesn't make sense. And that's so. Was the master plan you devised to steal the pawn article from the young Miss Lestrade? Master plan? Which brings us to the last and final chapters of the lucrative scheme. Why would you go to such lengths to redeem that particular article from the pawnbroker? Are you quite serious? For an ill-fitting overcoat hardly seems to justify the effort, much less worthless music box disc. But naturally you had a very good reason to make them yours, didn't you, Mr. Benedict? I had no idea what you're talking about. Well, I am missing a rather interesting piece of evidence. You see, this picture postcard tells us all we need to know. The articles were talking about the overcoat and the music box disc and all the wanted pockets, which according to Mr. Windybank didn't even worth a penny. Yet this man went to such lengths to steal them. But why? I wonder if perhaps we already have the evidence we need to explain it, Mr. Narhoder. Could we? Could we really? I better have a thorough look for all the evidence we collected so far. Oh, that's right, it's my court record now, so... Isn't that right? Yeah, it is. Okay. Oh, there's the blood, but what's on the other side? Ah! 4... Hang on, let me flip it. 4... Yeah. How do I? There we go. 4 McGillard. What? But he's dead. Ah! Interesting. Oh, there's a little scrap of paper on the reverse of the side of the disc. Look, unless he's not dead. A scribbled word or two. It looks like somebody's name. For McGillard. McGillard? It couldn't be. But it is, Mr. Narhoder. A name of which I shall never forget for as long as I live. But why? Why is his name on this? Interesting. It's all coming together.
Take that!
You see, the music box disc tells us all we need to know. What's that? On the back? It reads for McGillard. Mr. Magnus McGillard. But unfortunately for that of us who perished in the cautious circumstances of the Old Bailey 2 months ago. A prominent man in London that is learn-mongering and demonstrated a distinct lack of scruples. So, you're an associate of his, are you? Or perhaps a subordinate? Mr. McGillard was a man of usually small stature, in fact. It was precisely the right size for an overcoat that you've squeezed yourself into. Ugh. Your true identity remains shrouded in mystery, Mr. Eggert Benedict. But the final conclusion here is crystal clear. The reason you came to this pawnbrokery today was to retrieve an article left by the late Magnus McGillard. Got him. That's gonna be an interesting twist though if it's revealed that Miguel is still alive in the last case. It still makes you wonder what the last case is gonna even be about because we're just fucking around at this point. But as I said, like that even happened like with the last case. We're doing like plenty of fucking around before the case even started. So it's like we never waste time in Ace Attorney. Like even though it looks like we are, but still, it all comes together. It all connects together in the end. Well, Mr. Magnus McGillett. Not a name I expect to hear in these circumstances. Mr. Sholmes, I'm afraid there's something very troubling on my mind. Pray tell, Mr. Sutter. Well, according to what Mr. Winniebaker told us earlier, today was the final day on which the coat would have been redeemed, was it not? Yes, madame, that is correct. Today would have been precisely 2 months which his birth was deposited. Well, today is the 15th of April, so 2 months ago today. Would have been the 15th of February, sir, so that's right. All carefully recorded in my ledger. Deposited at 10:30 p.m., I see. What? But that suggests... Yes, 15th of February. Precisely on the day at which the omnibus murder took place. So he took the overcoat here and then jumped on the carriage where the murder took place. It's all happening on the same day. Interesting. And then 10:30 in the evening. It's precisely the time where the terrible events were unfolding. Oh. So how could he be in two places at once? So maybe he is still alive. Oh no, never mind. Yeah, that doesn't make sense. But still. Yeah, how could it have been on the carriage and here at the same time? Suggestive is not the word, but it would seem rather the matter is entirely beyond coincidence. You are, of course, at liberty to make whatever outlandish deductions you choose. However... I must insist you hand over the music box disc now. It would be a terrible shame for you to return your native land in a box. What do I do? Absolutely not. Power of gun has nothing over me. Do we get the bad end? There are some things a man must protect at all costs. This may very well be one of these things. But then again, it may not. Mr. Windybank, this is my shop, and I can't allow you to any harm to come to my customers. Is that what happened? I shall have to take my own life. Mr. Windybank, no! Although you said there was only one bullet, right? It's enough. Good thing. We saw guns through the window and we just had to come in. Inspector Gregson. Inspector? This isn't a gun, it's a lighter. That's right. Yeah, I've seen those lighters that are shaped like guns, and when you pull the trigger, the flame comes out. That's right, sunshine. The alarm was raised on one of our dedicated emergency lines. So we got here as fast as we could. Now, what's all this about, eh? Oh, praise be, you're here at last. I was moments away from forfeiting my own life at a very early establishment. Still off with the getaway. I'm pretty sure you can be arrested for just that, right? Like threatening somebody's life with a gun. It would seem you have the upper hand. I'll change back into his regular outfit. Alright, now you got some explaining to do. Don't appreciate it being bothered by some petty argy-bargy. Petty? Mr. Windymaker's very well met with his end. Yeah, by his own gun as far as I can tell. Oh dear. And the whole Britain could not meet with his end if I don't get to the bottom of this case I'm supposed to be working on. What? What on earth is the case, Inspector? Spare no detail, Gregson. I might have a little said too much. No matter, it's nothing to do with you lot. Anyway, so you're gonna have to come with me down the station. But of course, Inspector. Ah! He's getting away! Spin away! After him, lads. Whistle bit the officer too. Sir. There's been a spate of thefts at spawn shops around here recently. So we're fitting emergency buttons underneath the counters for brokers to let us know when there's trouble. Oh, Inspector, I was so very worried there for a while. So very worried indeed. Now then, Mr. Permanently in mourning. Oh, yes. I'll be taking that whatever it is of Mr. McGillen's down the yard. Thank you very much. So hand it over. Oh, yes, of course. Not covered with my fingerprints or anything. No, don't give it to him. It's mine. That is mine. I'm sorry, miss, but anything belonging to Mr. McGill has to be taken in for evidence now. As evidence? The police demand something as evidence, my dear fellow. We have no choice but to copulate. It's all yours, Inspector. Yeah, like has DNA on it and everything. So I think this is like before the days of, like, analysis, like, to that degree. Because what was it with that game L.A. Noire, where you're a detective, obviously, and you're like roaming around to a crime scene, you can like pick stuff up and be like, like pick it up and like look at it. There was like a real like cop that they got to play that game, or real like, you know, person who investigates crime scenes, and he's like, yeah, in this day and age we wouldn't actually like, you know, pick up stuff with our bare hands, so put on gloves first. Ugh. And so we hand on Mr. McGillen's disc over to Inspector Gregson, and we're summarily turfed out of the shop and onto the street. To be continued. Alright, cool. So that's the end of that chapter. Excellent. Yeah, so I think I'll leave that one chapter for now. Yeah, but I think I'll do like one chapter by one chapter until this is eventually done. Because I think like, yeah, I'm not sure how many chapters this episode will be. I'm assuming it'll be 3, right? Yeah, so we can leave it there. Actually, I might actually like start it off. I'll give you the very first text box as a teaser. There we go. That's all you get for now. But yeah, won't be back with this next week because I'm gonna get Nick to come down to my place and we're gonna play a bunch of games together. So we'll have to continue this in 2 weeks. Thanks for streaming. Yeah, no worries. All good, my guy. Ugh. No worries. And should be back on tomorrow with Final Fantasy VII if you're into that. Because I did figure out what to do. Last time I was completely stumped. I was like, oh god, this sucks. I have no idea what to do. But I did figure out what to do, so we're going to actually make some progress tomorrow, so yes. But yeah, until then, all good. Is there anybody on that can raid? Probably not, right? Yeah, I need to like follow like some more people on that are live at this time zone that can actually raid. Some like smaller streamers. Nah, not really. Okay. See you in about. Yeah, no worries. You too, man. And I'll catch you then. Until then, goodbye.